Greetings, YouTube. Welcome to YouTube with Joe. I realize that I have not posted in a while, so I wanted to let you all know that I'm still here. I am on YouTube right now, and my channel still lives. This channel, it lives. Today, I want to tell you about ducks. So I recently went to this artisan show at a brewery in a city that I like to go to. I won't say which city it is. You'll have to guess. And at this artisan show, got some pretty good food, and I bought something very interesting. It was, when I walked in the room, it was the first thing that I laid eyes on. And it was this. A duck card drawn by an artist. I bought it for $5. It was well worth it. Well worth it. Ducks are fascinating creatures. I've spent some time in my life observing their behaviors. I used to go duck watching back when I was in school in a city that I like to go to, which I will not disclose. You'll have to guess that one. It might be the same as the other one that I like to go to. Probably is, but you'll have to guess. And at this school that I went to, there was a pond. There was actually two ponds behind the library. And sometimes I would go there and watch the ducks. And there were streams that would run through campus that, well, they still do run through the campus, I hope. And so there's just ducks in season, just kind of all over the place. You know, you could find them anywhere on campus. Abouts. Never saw them inside, but if I had a pet duck, I might bring them inside sometimes. I don't know. But I don't have a pet duck. Maybe one day. So ducks, duck pond. Yeah, I used to observe their behaviors, and it's very interesting because I noticed that oftentimes there's drakes and hens, right? And I'm talking about mallards here, so, you know, green head males, brown and black, and with some white females. There's drakes and hens, so the males are the drakes, and the hens are the females. Females are hens. Drakes are males. Males are drakes, you know. And so I would notice that drakes, there's oftentimes a drake that would attach itself to the hen. So you just kind of always want to be with the hen, you know. And the hen would just kind of waddle around, swim around, paddle around, kind of do her own thing. But the drake really wanted to be with this hen, so the drake would follow the hen. Except the drake would try to take the lead and, like, you know, decide where they were gonna go, like left or right. But the hen wouldn't really pay much attention to what the drake was doing, so the drake would kind of like start paddling left. And then the hen would just keep going the way she's going. And then the drake would keep paddling left, and then he'd realize that the hen wasn't following him, so then he would course correct and then end up just going where the hen was. And it was kind of comical, amusing to watch this, and I felt kind of bad for the drake, but at the same time, it was funny. It was just funny to watch. This drake really wanted to be with this hen, and I I believe I've observed this more than once. Like, it's just kind of a thing, the drakes kind of attach themselves to the hen, but that's just ducks. The hens, they're just like, meh, drake, meh. Lots of drakes around, meh. But the drake's like, I want to be with that hen. And the hen's just like, meh, meh, meh. So, yeah, and ducks are also very interesting because their feet. Ever wondered how their feet that don't have any feathers on them, they're able to just like stand in like freezing cold water or just stand on a rock, a wet rock or a frozen over rock in the middle of winter. Maybe not the middle of winter because they're probably not around then, but when it's at the point where they haven't migrated yet, but things are still like things are still like frozen over and stuff. They just kind of sit there and chill out, and it's like they don't even get bothered by the cold. Well, it's actually because their circulatory system is designed so that it wraps around the toe. It's like veins, arteries, whatnot. They wrap around the toes of the duck so that the heat carried in the blood is heating up the feet on the way down and on the way back, on the way from the heart and on the way to the heart. So it's just a very efficient way of keeping the feet warm, and so that's why they're just not bothered. Also, if you haven't noticed, animals just seem to be less bothered by cold than humans, in my opinion. At least dogs seem to be very content to just run around outside in the cold for however long, and even though from my observations, animals tend to prefer warm places, they just don't seem to be as bothered by the cold as humans. Maybe that's just because they don't talk, so we don't actually hear their concerns and complaints. But the thing that I like most about ducks, I think, there's a lot of things about ducks that are really cool, but the thing that I like most is their tranquility. They have lots of quirks. There's lots of things about them that are tacky or funny. There's some things about duck behavior that's just weird. And it might be troubling if you compare it to human behavior, but they're not humans, so you can't really do that. It just doesn't work. I mean, you can, but it doesn't translate because they're not humans, they're ducks. But what I like most about them is that the way they paddle across the water is tranquil. It's peaceful. And even though there's this movement under the water, and you see them move, you see their bodies move over the water, so there's movement, but it's this peaceful, tranquil movement. It's like they're moving, but they're still. They're still. And that's something that I have desired in my own life, that I've been struggling to master, is that tranquil movement. So that balance where you're moving forward, you're getting somewhere with your life, with your job, your family, whatever. You're getting somewhere with your faith, but there's that inner peace, that inner tranquility, that contentment where you're content with your existence. You're content to be as you are, but you're not so content that you're not moving, that you're doing nothing. Just that peaceful movement, that stillness in motion. And that is something, especially as a Christian who aims to accept the peace of God into my own heart, into my own soul. I see a glimpse of that in the duck, the way they live, the way they move. And I think it's incredible, and I'm thankful to God for that little bit of nature, that picture of nature. And yeah, I thought it was time to share with you the duck. The duck. And actually, now that I think of it, I have a poem that kind of captures, a poem that I wrote that captures my view of the duck. I just thought of it right now, so I'm gonna have to retrieve it here. If you're wondering why the background's been moving for the last whole video, this whole video, it's because I've been kind of walking around and pacing a little bit as I talk. And so, one moment. Nope, not that poem. That's not a poem. Okay. I wrote this poem while I was in college at that school in that city that I like to go to. This piece is untitled. Quacky, weird, eccentric, elegant, poised, duck. Well, that's all for today. I hope you all have a grand day. I'm getting older. I'm getting older in less than a week. So my prayers to you. God bless you. And please pray for me as well as I get older and advance closer to the next part of my life. God bless you all. Join us next time on YouTube with Joe.